Hi, I am Daniel Benmergui, maker of Storyteller, a puzzle game about building stories, and I'm going to show you how the game actually works. In each level, you're given a goal that you need to achieve by using these elements down here that react to each other and putting them on the frames on the top, like in comics. So in this case, we need to make Adam alone and then find love. Since Adam likes women and Maria likes men, they will fall for each other if we put them together, thus achieving the goal of the story. But the game then starts becoming more and more complicated. In this case, Adam must be heartbroken but then recover. And we have a third character here. And now we have to start using special personality traits of each character. So in order for Adam to be heartbroken, he first needs to be in love with someone. Then, as we can see, Maria is not faithful. This means that if we put her together with somebody else, she's going to fall for somebody else. And by putting Adam there as a witness, we make him heartbroken. But then the story has to have a happy ending. And again, we use the fact that Maria is not faithful. So if we put her closer to Adam, she's going to fall back in love with him and achieving the goal. We can make it a bit more dramatic by putting Tinder to be a witness as well. So Storyteller presents you with a bunch of goals, but it doesn't really care how you actually achieve them. And sometimes, again, detects spatial variations of the stories that are particularly interesting. In this case, we need to make Adam commit suicide out of heartbreak. So let's do the simplest things first. If he falls in love with Eve, maybe Eve can, die. If he does, well, he's heartbroken and he is able to commit suicide. So he does. As you can see, I only dragged the tombs there, and the game knows that only the missing character could have died, thus that works automatically. Here we found one of the interesting variants of this story. One is widower, but we can also achieve rejection, and to do that we will also use the fact that some characters are faithful. In this case, Eve is faithful. That means that if she's in love with somebody else, she will still stay in love with him. So when Adam declares to her, she rejects him. That makes him heartbroken as well, and now he can commit suicide. So there are many surprises in the game later on. We start adding new elements into the game. Like in this case, the villain. The villain can commit crimes and can commit murder. The treasure, who makes some characters, the closest character, rich. And we can create interesting situations, like in this case, Adam becomes rich, King becomes envious of Adam, becoming rich. So Tim steals the money from him. As you can see, the game has a simulator that knows what happened in the story and makes conclusions out of it. Like in this case, if the treasure is close to the villain and the treasure belonged to somebody else before, the game knows that the villain actually stole the money. So it can detect that particular situation. And now, since Adam is a witness of the crime, Tim has a motive to kill him. And then further down, there are many more devices that are used to solve the stories that starts becoming more and more sophisticated. In this case, we have a role change. Some characters can actually change roles in the same story. Like he can be something else, and then turn into something else. In this case, he can actually turn into a vampire. And also, sometimes you need to change the settings. And sometimes you need to do really complicated things, and in this case, this particular caption makes any character in the frame believe that his or her love was killed. So to make this story, in which Tim turns into a heartbroken monster, first we need to make him heartbroken because of his suicide. So one way we can achieve it is by making Mina believe that he was killed or dead or something. So she becomes heartbroken, and she can commit suicide. So she does. And Tim becomes a witness of that. So now he's heartbroken because of her tragic suicide, and then he can turn into a monster. I had to put him in the castle because if I let him be outdoors, he's going to be turned into ash. And so there are many more surprises down the road, which I don't want to spoil here, but stories start getting more convoluted, and you start to think about what each character knows and what each character can tell some other characters, and many more other story devices. So I hope you find the game interesting and you can follow development at the game's website. Thank you.